Guys, let's start. As you guys can see, 1 second, let me zoom a little. We'll do gravitation today. And this is the book. Obviously, you guys will have this because the other day I sent you the PDF. Okay. Now, how do you guys read through this and all these things? The other PDF, remember the most recent PDF which I sent you, the 2-page PDF. I mean, the 150-page PDF, sorry, not 2-page, 150-page PDF. I am not doing that today. I'm only trying to focus on errorless. Okay. So I'll tell you how I would do. And based on that, you guys will follow the pattern. Pattern is more important here. Now understand this specific book, okay, or this specific chapter called as gravitation. The most important thing here is graph questions. Very, very, very important. Many times it will be repeated and 100%. Okay, in fact, 200% in your case set. I'm not talking about JE. I'm talking about case set. In case set, one question from graph will 100% appear. Okay, 100%. Now, what and all to read, what and all to ignore, I'll tell you. So, when you start off with the chapter, you find all these kind of theory there. Should you go through everything? Absolutely not. Fine. So, right now, see, introduction is about Newton here. Should you know about Newton at this point of time? Not required because that doesn't serve the purpose. So, it starts with Newton's law of gravitation. Oh, I'll change the color of the pen. We start with Newton's law of gravitation because that's the most important thing here. I realize this is my answer for that. F equals G into M1 M2 by R square. I know that you guys will be remembering this from your 11th standard, but we're trying to revise stuff. Okay. Now, this will be useful throughout the chapter. Done. So in the first page, only that specific thing will be important. You keep going on to the next page. Okay. Do not spend more time unwantedly. Because I told you in this chapter, what's the most important thing? Graph is the most important thing. So only graph-based questions I'll focus on. Now, acceleration due to gravity, you guys anyways know this was actually a derivation in your 11th standard. Okay. Just go through all these things. You will get something. This is important in the second page till now. G equals Gm by R square, where lowercase g is called as acceleration due to gravity. Capital G will be called as gravitation constant, m and all you guys will be doing. Okay, so two things important in the, till now two things were important. I'll scroll down 1 second. Clear. I'll scroll down. This is exactly how fast you should be. You should not keep spending time. Okay, now variation of g due to shape of the earth. Okay, fine, this I see there. Here it's the most important. This is the next thing is important. uh, Equator is greater than the pole. This is since R of the equator is greater than the pole. What we do here is, array, 1 minute. Yeah, tell now what happened. Connected.
So you told go through the derivation. No, you mean we have to practice the derivation also.
No, go the steps. In order to how you got the answer, the steps are important. No,
Is that
like
important? Can't we just see the formula
you
directly?
can see the formula also directly. Won't make a big thing at all. But I would go through the steps. See, for example, right now whatever I have boxed here, this is not the final answer. This is just a step. You'll have to know the step in order to understand this. Correct.
Okay.
So without not everything is important like that. Only few things. R of the equator is greater than the is more than R of the pole will become an obvious thing later. But since it becomes obvious, till it becomes obvious, you're supposed to keep going through it. That. Okay. I'll go to the next page. Variation of G with height. This also was a derivation when it comes to your 11th standard, but obviously we'll not be deriving it. This is the formula here. I go through it. Okay. So obviously, once you guys finish with height, you have no choice but also to go with depth of the depth of it. Here, look, the depth thing is here. Okay. So once you are done with, let's say, 4 to 5 pages, then you ignore everything else. In the sense, don't do everything at the same time. Fine. You will do up to one specific level and go to the questions. Now listen here. This is the graph which is important. I'll show you. Okay, or this. You will see this repeated a lot of times in your exams. Fine. So what I'll do, I will not come with the full theory because you guys will tend to forget. After 4 to 5 pages, don't waste time. Go to the questions part. Okay. See, I'm skipping all these things for now. I'm going to the questions part directly because I've done good amount of what do you call questions. Now, You will start with ordinary thinking, but in ordinary thinking, before going to the ordinary thinking, what I would do here is I would go through the what do you call? 1 second, bit. Where is this? Always start from the answers part. I'll tell you why. See, these are your answers. In your answers, you have something called as topics name. Fine. You will choose topic based on the importance of the topic and the chapter. You will not do everything unwantedly. Okay. See, right now, you guys can see all the topics covered here are law of gravitation, due to gravity, uh, potential, satellites motion, Kepler's law, and that's how it is. And see, if I scroll a little, I can see a section called as graphical questions. Now I'll pause here. Graphical questions is not printed on all your chapters. Okay, it is printed in chapters wherever the concept is important. You take any other chapter, graphical questions might not be printed there. If it is printed here, which means I can see 10 questions here. Okay. Just now I told you that, it's important. Now observe the pattern of the answers right here. Can you see C being repeated a lot of times here, which means usually the option will lie in C. Okay. Now if you ask me, sir, how does that matter? It matters. This is exactly how you're supposed to do CET. Okay, so you'll now obviously don't ask me one silly question, sir. Even though the first topic here is law of gravitation, why aren't we doing that? We are not doing that because even compared to that, graphical question is more. I mean, graphical based question is more important. Okay, now who tells you this? I'll tell you this. Okay, now I start with graphical questions. I see that almost all the options here are C. Now, by chance, if there's a graphical question in my case set, and if I do not know the answer, I'm repeating that. And if I do not know the answer, I will tick T and come. Okay? I will tick C and come. By chance, you know the answer. Obviously, you will not tick C. Do not get blinded by all these things. Fine, but you will keep these things only in case of emergency. Only in case if you guys forget things. Okay, so I'm not encouraging you guys to do this, but just trying to tell you that you still have an option. Okay, you still have an option of by chance you do not know the answer, you have an option of taking C and coming. Now listen, I'll tell you what I mean by, I'll tell you what will come a lot of times. Can you see the first question here? 1C will be the answer. Look at this graph. Just now I ticked that graph, which looks like this. Okay, this only will appear. This only will appear. Okay, very, very, very important. Now, either this graph can look like this, or it can get inverted and look like this. Fine. It has to be covered on both sides. That's the meaning of it. If you look at the fourth one also, look at this. This is the graph I'm talking about. Can you see this? It has to be covered on both sides. It has to start from the left axis here. Best example, the fifth one you see, the graph should look like this. B, sorry, not C, guys. B. Can you spot the difference here? The B part initially it is increasing constantly, then hits a point, then decreases. Here both of them are curves. Here it is one straight line, one curve. That's important. Okay. So this is the pattern of the graph which is being practiced in gravitation. So it's very important for you guys to understand the patterns, especially when it comes to questions like this. Okay. I can solve question also. Won't be a big fuss right now. But I'm just trying to tell you how to. I'm just trying to teach you guys the pattern of errorless. Fine. It's very important, guys. There's absolutely zero shame in trying to admit that you guys got the answer wrong or you guys got the question wrong. Okay, because you're only solving alone. I am not even there when you guys are solving at home. Fine. See, obviously, when I'm sharing the screen and if you guys are getting the wrong answer, that obviously that will make some sense. But here we are talking about you guys trying to practice. Okay, practice. When you're trying to practice, do not get intimidated by the amount of wrong answers you guys get. You will get almost. See, guys, the target is to get minimum 5% right initially. Okay, if you're getting 1% right, also is completely fine. But initial target is to get 5% right. Okay, then you make the 5% as 10%, then 10% as 20%. It is always a doubles game here. Fine. So let's say initially you're aiming to get 5% right. If you're getting only 2% right, I am still very happy. You also should be very happy. What you know the meaning of 2%, right? If you're solving 100 questions, if you're getting 2 questions right, it means that you guys are good. Done. Fine. Now understand getting 2% is not at all a big thing. If you keep, just sticking one option A throughout like the like 20 questions, you might get two questions right. That's the volumes game. Okay. But I'm just trying to tell you, when you guys are trying to solve, always go in terms of the importance of the topic in that chapter. And one more thing, look at the 10th one here. The answer might be D. The probability is more, either C or D. Okay. Because both of these graphs is what we learned here. Fine. So, and if you observe one pattern here, all these graphs, I never even read the question. I'm only focusing on the given options to me and going. This luxury you guys have in this chapter called as gravitation. Will you guys have this in all the chapter? Absolutely not. Because I'm telling, for example, I cannot promise anything which is very important when it comes to a chapter called as electric field and charges, because that chapter, 3 to 4 questions will come. But in gravitation, only one question will come, and that question will be a graph question. Now, if you ask me, sir, then why are the other topics printed? The other topics are printed just to cover the chapter. Okay, nothing when it comes to importance like that. Fine. Remember these. So go to your notebook and write. In gravitation, graph question is the most important thing.
So this in this entire chapter, doing this graph is enough. Huh?
No, I'm not trying to tell it's enough. Because let's say you're writing JE.
Yeah.
JE only graph won't come. Many things will come. Got it. Hmm.
So in CET only graph will like only graph will be.
Majority graph will come. See, because your case set, it's been asked here, but it's a 1999 question.
Yeah.
Correct. So recently, from the last 5 to 6 years, majority of the times only graph has been asked.
So
Majority.
one question which is the graph.
One question, which is the graph. Yeah. See here again, case set question I found. That's in 2002. Recent years, I'm not able to find. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You see, as to how I'm scrolling, no? I'm scrolling only to find case set questions here. I can find case set 2003. I mean, will you solve it? I would solve it. Okay. But graph is more important.
You told us to solve the first 5 pages or something. I mean, read the first 5 pages. So
Yeah.
how much
Correct,
time
correct.
should we spend for that 5 pages?
That actually depends from chapter to chapter. Because right now I'm doing a first PU syllabus right now.
Yeah.
Even you know you that even I know that only 14 questions will come out of 60,
Yeah.
which means importance will not be given to this from the board. Okay, so you'll have to be faster in this. But let's say I'm starting with charges. I will go more deeper. In fact, I might have opened two tabs and I might have kept that 150-page PDF also open there. Getting it?
Which
Because
150 pages?
the one which I sent you
Handbook.
recently, handbook.
Okay. Okay.
I would have kept both of them. Okay, that's because in that depth is required, and I do not have time to do one chapter twice initially. So I would do both the PDFs, whatever is important, and then start off with the questions. Got it?
Yeah.
It
So for
only
first PU, the handbook is not that important, no?
it is very important. No, why would you do this? I would keep errorless only to do the chapter, only to do the questions. In the handbook, I have compressed the full formula and all and given to you in maximum, let's say, 3 pages. Why would you spend more time in doing errorless? Because you know it's not important. I would only do the 3 pages and spend around 20 minutes there, come back to errorless and solve questions based on this.
So then I'd rather do the handbook than read those 5 pages or something.
100%, 100%. But I just told you see, that's the reason I'm telling you, Dheeraj. When I screen shared this, I was doing errorless. Okay. I told you this is exactly how I would do errorless book. I never told it's a first PU chapter or the second PU chapter. Got it?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the pattern I'm telling for errorless, not for first PU, second PUC. Keep that in mind. See, from that time I'm scrolling, guys. I'm not able to find. I'm able to find case set questions. I'm not able to find any recent case set questions because all recent case set questions are from graph. Okay, I'm trying to prove you that what's happening here. Okay, give me a few more seconds. I'm scrolling. Yeah. See, I came to the start of the chapter. I found few case set questions, but none of them were about 2003. So those 3 or 4 questions you will solve, but more importance to graph. And to your information, the PDF which I'm sharing right now is the 2019 PDF. Is this enough? Yes. Are there any major changes to 2025 and 2019? Absolutely not. But If you want to download the latest version, you'll get it online. No worries. Okay. Now wait for a second. I want to show one more thing to you guys. I told you it's important. No, there's this option called as, okay, fine. I'll tell you one more PDF's name. Please download this. I've lost the PDF. I used to have this before. I've lost it recently. You'll get it online. No worries. Before that, there's something called as critical thinking. This critical thinking questions will be there only in an errorless book. You won't find it anywhere else. Okay. Now, should you solve all the critical thinking kind of questions in errorless? The answer is a no. Okay. And what else will you solve? You will solve any question which has been asked more than 3 to 4 times. See, for example, the first question here I will not solve. Because even though it is under critical thinking, it has only been asked twice. That too some random 1989, 1997. But if you see the sixth question, even though let's say I do not know how to solve it, I might go to the answers. I might take a look at how it is being solved. I might come back and learn this because it is minimum repeated more than 4 to 5 times. Okay, so in under critical thinking questions, especially in errorless, you will solve questions if it is repeated more than 3 to 4 times. I would not solve the second one here. Okay, and along with this 3 to 4 times, always keep in mind if you guys find a case set question being asked under critical thinking, will it be asked? Few chapters it has been asked. Okay, you will do that. I'll repeat it. When do you solve critical thinking questions? If it has been repeated more than 3 to 4 times, or it's a case set question, you will solve. Okay, remember this. And usually critical thinking questions won't be more than 30. See, let's see here. See, in this chapter, 18 questions are there. That's all. And the 10th question I would solve. Why? Because look at this. Now, don't ask me a silly question telling said it has been asked in CPSC PMT. Does not matter. If you see more than 3 to 4 years or 3 to 4 times being repeated, blindly go and solve this. If you do not know the answer, absolutely no problem. Scroll down here. You will find, guys, this is called as the answer. This is called as the solution. And you find your solutions here. You will find solutions under critical thinking here. Where is the critical thinking? 1 minute. Yeah. Can you find this? Critical thinking questions answers. It's here. It's right here. Come back here, solve. If you do not, okay, see, for example, I'll give you one more pattern here. Critical thinking, usually you will have all the answers. Okay. If you do not have the answer, no problem. You guys are in the world of AI. Okay. Ask AI the answer and it will simplify it for you. But I would not encourage that initially because you'll keep diverting a lot of times. I would not do that. I just scroll. The answers are here. See, I told you 10th one. This is the formula what they've used. Obviously, if you do not know the formula, no problem. Make a note of it in your thing, mug it up, and then start solving. Okay. MJ here is potential energy, and they're talking about height here. That's the meaning here. Fine. But I understood this because I've solved the chapter several times. You might have not solved the chapter. So that's two different things here. But what I would do is, let's say I've forgotten, I would scroll down, I would see the thing first. Okay, this is how it works. Go back to the question and read the question again now. Now you will understand the answer. Now you understand the question in a very different way because you know the answer and then start solving it. Fine. This is exactly the pattern you guys will do. Now, obviously, I'm spending more than 1 minute for a question here. That's worth the investment. Okay, because you know it's important. And when it comes to graphical questions, since I told you it's important, there were 10 questions. You will try to solve more than 8. Okay, you will try to solve more than 8. Whichever concept title it's important from a specific chapter, make sure you guys are solving 80% of the questions. Okay, from that specific topic. Now I am not forcing you guys to solve the full book no here because I know it's not important from this chapter. So you focus only on the most important ones. And here also, when I was scrolling through critical questions, I was looking for any case set being repeated. Nothing was being repeated here. So therefore, you know it's not that important. And I also proved with an example that okay, case set here will be asked, but before 2003 it was been asked. Fine. So graph questions are the most important things. Now talking about the other book, there's something called as case set previous year question paper. Case set PYQs. I want you guys to download this book here. Okay. If you're not able to get the book, at least download papers from 2018 up to the current trend, 2024. Okay. I want you guys to have all these papers. Guys, please focus here. Along with the papers, I want it with the answers and solutions. Okay, so many websites will offer this. Fine. So what I want to do, what I want you guys to do is on your laptop or your whatever, open a folder called as KSET PYQs. Okay, open a folder. Under that folder, Name multiple subfolders as 2014, 19, 20, 21. 1 year got missed due to COVID. Okay. I don't know which year exactly it is. I forgot. So you guys take it. You guys make a note of it. From 2018, physics, chemistry, math, PCM, 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 PCM. Start making a folder. You will not get everything in the same day. No. If you are getting two in 1 day, more than enough. Okay, don't spend more time. PCM, PCM, PCM. Answers with solutions, with solutions, with solutions, everything with solutions. Okay, this has to be ready within the next 3 to 4 days. Okay, I want this folder to get ready. You guys download it. You guys will go crazy. I will, but I want you guys to download it. Fine. Now, why? How is this useful? This is the most useful thing you guys will have, we will always find. Okay, why? Because once you let's say finish gravitation, you will randomly, okay, pick 2 years paper. Let's say you are in a mood to solve 23 and 20. Fine. You will pick that paper, obviously go to physics because it belongs to physics. You will keep scrolling through physics paper. Out of 60 questions, you will check if there's any gravitation question in the 20 paper. Let's say you found one. You will solve it right there. Okay. You will check the answer and you will solve it until you get the right answer. Okay. So next you come back to 23 question. Now what happens? You solve the same gravitation question again. Done. Now then you're done with the chapter. After a week, let's say you're solving this chapter called as charges. Okay, you're solving a chapter called as charges. Now, by mistake or by coincidence, you happen to choose the same paper again, 20 and 23. Fine. Now, when you're going through some paper, you open the paper to do charges. Correct? Do them. But along with doing charges, also do gravitation. In a simple language, also do the chapter which you guys had finished recently. Okay, so let's say before gravitation, you're done. I mean, before charges, you are done gravitation. So you opened the PDF of KSET to do charges. I agree with that. But since you opened it and since you're scrolling, along with charges, you'll also do gravitation. Now, what happens here? This is called as revision. Okay, so after few months, since once you're done with let's say 10 to 12 chapters, you will see that you'll be spending more time in KSET. That's exactly even what I want to happen. Okay, if you're spending more amount of time on these PYQs, guys, mark my. Okay, I'll give you one more stat here. Okay, only if you do PYQs, only. Okay, I am not telling errorless, nothing. Only if you sit and do KSET PYQs and mug up each and every answer, mug up each and every step. I mean step. Okay, you will score a minimum of 85 to 90 out of 180 minimum. This is the guarantee what I'm giving you. Only if you the KSET PYQs. I'm talking about from 2018 paper to 24 paper, 3 papers in each year. Okay, sit and mug up the the procedure, the answer. You should mug up in such a way that if I give you a question, you should tell this was in 19 paper, this was in 21 paper. Okay, and the option here was C in your version. Don't mug up the answer. Obviously, the answer was C. In my version is what I'm. If you're able to go to that depth, easily be able to score 85 to 90, which literally means 50%. Okay, and the other day I gave you one mark, no, one threshold I gave you. I told the threshold is 103. Anything about anything above 103, you will be scoring really well, is what I told you. Okay, now. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. If you're able to score approximately 85 to 90, don't you think you'll be able to score 110? You only need remaining 20 questions right. The 20 questions right you'll get after solving this errors and all these things. Getting it? Because you'll improve in speed, you'll improve in all these things. But majority you'll be able to get just by solving PYQs in a very in a godly way, to be honest. Fine, you should dedicate yourself to that, and that this is actually what pulls your marks up. I'm not going to tell you this is only enough, but if you mug up this properly, more than enough. I'm using the word mug up. I'm not trying to intimidate you guys, but that's important. You're supposed to know it firmly that yes, this is the answer. This is exactly what I solved you. I am not trying to tell everything will get repeated, but majority of them will get repeated, and people do not know this. And moreover, after people getting to know this, they'll get to know this in the month of December. Unfortunately, they have no time to do it, okay? Because they have their upcoming board exam in the month of March and their upcoming practical exam in the month of Feb. So they literally only have Jan in between. But in Jan, you will minimum have 1 to 2 mock tests in your college. So they're completely filled here. But Feb and March, um Feb and March, they're focusing more on what do you call board exam here. So absolutely they do not have time. And after March, that April is CET. They tell that within these 20 days, I'll sit and mug up 6 to 7 papers. Impossible. Okay, because you are not mugging up 6 to 7 papers. You're mugging up literally 6 to 7 years. Each year has three papers, and each paper has 60 questions, which means here, let's say 18 to 24, 1 year got skipped. No, you have 7 years, okay, into 180 questions each year. So this is the amount of questions you are trying to solve and trying to remember. Not an easy task at all. It requires a lot of time and energy. So the best time to start is right now. Okay, you have time now. 7 into 180 questions. If you're able to start mugging up and remembering the answers, minimum 85 to 90. Okay, minimum is 80, man. Minimum is 80. Remember it. So you'll have to put that extra effort only to solve that remaining 20 questions or 30 questions, right? Which you'll score really well in that case. Fine. So I would always start with math with respect to this. Now keep this in mind. I've told you how, in today's class, I've told the pattern, fine, as to how to do things. Keep the pattern in mind. I didn't want to do gravitation today. That I just took this as an example so that you guys understand as to how things work. But the pattern remains the same for almost all the chapters. Absolutely no change. But keep that in mind. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to do right now is we were doing charges. Charges. Don't have charges. Do one thing. Open the in this specific PDF. Go to, let's say, gravitation is not what else is important. Wait, guys. Okay, do one thing. Right now, do this task of downloading the CET PYQs. Okay, CET PYQs. Sit down from 2018 to 2024. Okay, make a folder of PCM. I want the PDF to be along with the answers. See, there's one publication called as Sunstar publication. Okay, these people, reason I'm recommending this publication is because mistakes are really low here. That's the only thing. Okay, mistakes are really low. Now, what you guys will do is, Sunstar publication you guys download. Fine. Do this task. It will minimum take 1 to 1.5 hours. Finish this off. Okay, 1 to 1.5 hours. Once you are done with this, since we were doing differentiation, no, from 2018 to 2024, choose some random 3 years paper. Okay, just keep scrolling through and just count how many questions are present each year based on differentiation. Only do this today. This only will take more time. I'm telling 1.5 hours, but if you're really good at it, only it's 1.5 hours, or it will take time to find the right ones. Okay, guys, don't be in a hurry to download the top suggestion. Not required. Scroll through the suggestions and see the best one. Sunstar publication is recommended, but others also are fine. But make sure you guys get everything along with the answers. What? Best one is not the top one, basically.
Oh, then?
It usually errors will be there. Try looking for Sunstar only.
Yeah.
If it is not there, then there are other sites. Look for
Other
Sunstar.
sites?
You name it. I mean, other suggestion basically, sites in the sense.
I know,
Okay.
sir. Any
Adi, that's what
mention names.
I don't know anything. Others are not that good. So I used to only have the Sunstar publication.
Yeah.
But any other thing also will do. But this is the most recommended one. Okay, you look for this. If you're not getting it, other one also will do. We have no choice. Okay, you do this and just count. Keep a paper. Write 2018 or 21 or 19 on all these things. When you're scrolling, see the amount of differentiation questions, not integration, only differentiation question. Write it. So 19, let's say you write 7. 21, 8. You do this. Okay, and do this and get it to Tuesday's class. We'll talk about that in Tuesday's class. Okay, fine. See you. Just go and start with this work today. Right now, it's important. Differentiation only. And I hope you guys understand as to how the question will look like. Everything will be having dy by dx there. Dy by dx or d by dx will be 100% be there. So keep this as your reference and keep solving it. And there's a chapter called as application of derivatives where a word problem based on differentiation will be there. You will never get to know at this point of time because I haven't started it yet. So how do you get to know if it's a question or not? Look at the answers. If in the answer, if they're using d by dx, yes, it is a differentiation question. Okay, so count for every year and minimum try to take 3 to 4 years and write it in a book and come for Monday's class. Got it? Monday's class, what are we doing? I think we'll do chemistry only. We'll continue with that. We'll finish off that chapter, haloalkanes, haloarenes, because we'll be able to do CET then. Alright? Fine. See you.